it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, and whoops. Friday setup still in play. Welcome into Pregaming here on Sports Money. Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. You know how we get down. Want to smack these books, want to get out there, use all that late information. Tough spot of the day, but the best spot of the day. We've been sitting on this card all day, marinating, looking at angles, trends, cash flow, line movements, injury updates, you name it, we got it. We're going to talk about it all tonight, and we're going pretty wide open. We've got ourselves a great Major League Baseball slate. First game, Mondays, travel days, all the rest, but plenty of action for this Major League Baseball card. We're going to open up with a two-leg parlay. Cash our parlay Friday. Why not run back to another one out there? We'll go Cleveland and the Nationals. We'll go San Diego Yankees for a little ribeye action, a little red meat on Mondays. I know it's Cinco de Mayo, but that doesn't mean we can't use a little ribeye action in them tacos. Pittsburgh, St. Louis, and Seattle and Oakland to round out the card. Probably could have had two more. Probably could have gone two more deep, but we had to cut it somewhere. And the Knicks and the Celtics will open up their semifinal series. We've got the Denver Nuggets and the OKC Thunder. Big battle out there in the West, the divisional battle with maybe some disrespect. And then we'll bring her home, 8 p.m. start. A little late start here for the NHL north of the border. The Panthers will travel on up to take on the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. And we are narrative laden across this card here. There's a lot of great things to talk about. We're going to try to pick our sides, our spots, how we want to fire. I hope you guys had a great weekend firing with us. Saturday was an unbelievable day. It was a lot of fun. Late day. I hope you guys had a good Kentucky Derby. We know the real money gets made Saturday nights when it comes to the UFC. And we did. And I saw a lot of you guys saying great comments. Profitable card, most profitable card for some of you guys for the year thus far. I saw some great tickets, man. A couple of you guys were fired up on some parlays. The playbook was firing as it does. We had our guy, Andrew Babakides, come in on Friday and talk to us about the sharp action where the respected bettors were putting their money, and we made some money. So Saturday was a lot of fun. Late one, though, huh? Holy cow. Sunday was tough. Sunday was really tough. Chasing my own ass all day on Sunday from that late night Saturday card. But it was fun. I hope you guys equally enjoyed it with us out there. Make sure you take some time, if you haven't done so already, to smash that thumbs up button. Great job doing that over the weekend. Thank you guys all for taking the time. We'll get back to it in a second. Let's recap really quick. I know Friday feels like it was a week and a half ago. I know it was only a couple of days, but we've been off to a hot start for the month of May. I believe we're 14-3 here between Thursday and Friday. And just trying to come in, you guys, give the best looks that we can do to shake these books up, and 6-1 finish on Friday. Sadly, I think it was a 21-0 spot for the over in the Oakland Athletics Miami Marlins. The Marlins at home, an over? Not on Friday. It was even money, but we took the L. 9.5. 6-1 final score on that Friday game. Kind of has a little reminiscent feel of today's game. For those that are thinking auto over, it's a Marlins spot here at home. I don't know, but I'll tell you what. I do know we fired on everything else. We cashed the Baltimore Orioles in a shutout 3-0 against the Kansas City Royals. 3-0, no sweat. Our three-leg parlay, our 187 up on that. You know what? The Tigers, the Yankees, and the Giants. 3 legs, but look, they were 2-1 or higher across the board. And we made that thing almost 2-1 for the 3-pack out there. So we got that cash. Sweaty with Cleveland and Toronto. North of the border, the under 8.5 comes through for us. 5-3 final. Final. I can still hear it in my head with the Ramon Scotty's been running so hot with the morning steam. Joined us on Saturday night. Final. Still can hear it. St. Louis Blues did handle business on Friday. And I say it like that because yesterday was an epic fail by the St. Louis Blues. The Seattle Mariners continue to remain red hot. Them bats, especially against righties, are firing. 13-1 final. And then we closed it out. Wrong team favorite in the NBA. We had the Rockets plus 5.5. They go out there. They handle them Golden State Warriors 115-107. Now, it was Friday. Obviously, Golden State came back and handled business. Golden State will advance. Was expected. I did have a little plus 2.5. I thought the score would get over there yesterday. Sadly, it did not. I was a little disappointed. Sunday's card was not the fondest to me. Usually that seems to be the way it goes after a big strike. So we're going to try to get ourselves aligned here. We got to get back in alignment, get back and going here. Every day is a new day to go out there and stack that cash. And I thought we have a really great card to do it tonight. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the playoffs. I'm excited for the hockey playoffs here. Yeah. Let's talk about it for a second. Dallas, Colorado. Dallas is clearly the better team. Got to hand it to them. They found a way to come through in the crutch. 4-2. Talk about narratives. Rantanen comes out there with the hat trick against his former team. His former team. 3 goals. Not just 3 goals, but he had an assist as well. Guy was 4 points deep. 3 goals. Dallas Stars to take down the Colorado Avalanche. I think those narratives are way more important than some of the birthday narratives. Like we know Mitch Marner's birthday tonight. So we'll keep our eyes on that and see if that does manifest itself. But wow, I couldn't believe the disaster yesterday. St. Louis goes up 2-0 in like the first 6 minutes of the game. I didn't even have a chance to get the game on, and they were already up 2-0. I was like, whoa, this one's going to be tight. And then, listen, we've talked about this before. What's one of the worst leads to have in hockey? It's a 2-goal lead going into the third period. And that's exactly where St. Louis found themselves. Up 3-1, rolling into the third period. I mean, what was it? 3 seconds left. 2.7, I think. Epic. Heartbreak. I was on the under in that game. I was feeling good. Had a little nerve factor going in there, seeing that 3-1 going into the third period, but I was thinking under 5.5 should cash for us. And then not only does it not cash, they tie it up, they go to overtime, and the President's Club winning Winnipeg Jets will advance to the next round of the playoffs. It was pretty cool, though, to see the Schenn and Schenn brother handshake at the end. I don't know if you guys caught that or not, but the parents were in the stands checking it out. And there's a hockey family. Them Schenns, they know what they're doing. The Schenns, the Hughes, all have figured it out. Speaking of figuring it out, Team Canada in the International Ice Hockey May Classic that they play every year has had some big movement. All these teams that have gotten eliminated from the playoffs have had Canadian-driven players now moving, and Canada has become a sizable uptick. If you guys are looking for future betting in the IIHF tournament, not quite as good as the Four Nations. Maybe it'll be. I don't know. We'll see. I should say it won't be quite as good, but I think Canada was sitting around a plus 300, plus 325. They've moved to a plus 140. And you got to expect after that Four Nations, win there. The Olympics previous, this Canadian team is firing. Might not be a bad spot to take a little action and park it on a plus 145 for Team Canada. Lots of good parts on that piece. Can't wait for that tournament. That's always a lot of fun here. All these guys that, their season's over. They clean out their lockers. They sit around for a week thinking about what they're going to do. And then they decide, you know what? I'm not done with hockey yet. Let me go join the fellas. Let me put the country sweater on and let's see if we can find a way to get that cash. Listen, the NBA, we talked a little bit about it there in the onset. Game 7, weird starts. Game 7 finishes off on the late slate. Golden State goes out there and pounds on Houston Rockets. I had this thought after I sent some plays out. I was like, what if Golden State just holds the Rockets to 85 points? Now it was 89 points, but that's exactly what happened. Golden State handled business. Buddy Hield, the backup Buddy Hield with 33 points. Interesting to see Golden State advancing out there 4-3 in that series, took down them Houston Rockets. Congrats, Rockets, 52-30 on the year. And your reward is getting busted up in the postseason through 7 games. It was the Pacers, that beat the Cavaliers that had everyone surprised here. It was a huge spread. It was a full swing the other way. It was 8-9 points. I think it was 9 at one point. The Pacers +9. Pacers win by 9. Outright. 18-point swing. Halliburton. Listen, playoff Halliburton's a real deal. 22 points, 13 assists. He had 3 blocks in that spot as well. So, NBA playoffs are cooking. Pacers have Series 1 lead. A lot of people throwing the towel in on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'll tell you, now might not be a bad time to look for a series bet on the Cavs. I know the Pacers, they look fantastic from wire to wire. 36-25 in that first quarter. Second quarter, things settled back just a little bit. But they finished strong. It was that 29-22 fourth quarter finish where things got tight, they got sweaty, and they just blasted back through out there. But the juices come down on one of the best teams in the regular season of the NBA 2025 calendar year, or calendar season here, I guess. Maybe if you're a future bettor, that's the way you want to look here. But on top of that, man, what a fun spot here. We had, shout out to Ramon Scott, gave us the Canelo Alvarez spot there with the UNAM decision. Turned up minus 1,100 into like a plus 210, I think is what the number settled down to. And look, probably one of the biggest conversation points here, Bo Nickel. Now, if you watched us on Saturday, no disrespect to Bo Nickel, I thought two things were going on. One, it does appear that he's changing his fighting style. He's trying to become more of a, well, he's trying to round it out. I don't want to say he's becoming more of a striker. He's a world-class wrestler for sure, but he didn't look so good. RDR busted him up. +3, I think it was +310, +331, something like that, for DeRuyter to go out there and handle Bo Nickel in the co-main event. Another spot where the co-main event dog is barking. And I'll give an honorable mention nod. Started off the season slow. Crow Armstrong, PCA. Young up-and-comer, firing on the season, seeing the ball terrifically for this Chicago Cubs team. Cubs team that maybe is in a good place tonight. Pretty beefy. I looked at the Cubs -1. That was a first cut. Man, this kid's having a phenomenal season. He's on pace to hit. I mean, I know it's pace and it's early in the season. 42 home runs, 56 stolen bases, 120 runs. I know it's ridiculous. They do that the first quarter of the season and multiply the numbers by 4. But look, he's 23 years old. You're going to see a lot more coming out of this guy for them Chicago Cubs. Quite the evening, quite the weekend, quite the opportunities there that we were able to get home and cash on. Like I said, trying to get it back from yesterday. Not the finest hour, but it's going to happen. No one's going to win them all. Let's see if we can't win them all, though. And it starts by blessing our action vis-a-vis the thumbs up button. Viewer supported. You guys know the deal. In show, thumbs up. That's the way you show the support. Post show, leave a comment. Let's talk back and forth. I love the banter back and forth. Telling me what you guys are on, sharing what you just won on, sharing your parlay, sharing the action that's out there, things that you looked at that we didn't talk about on the show. All make it fun. It all continues to grow this thing. We're creating a loud voice. It gets them all upset. All those tools out there. We're already working on the UFC playbook for this big pay-per-view card, PPV 315. Going to go after it, get it done. But before we get anywhere going on this week here, smash that thumbs up button. Close the comments. Give it a smack. Let's get sports money growing, Sports Money Nation. Let's get this roar going. Take some time. Smash that thumbs up if you haven't done so already. And I got to update the slide because there's a bunch more of you guys have obviously been cashing. You're upgrading. You're getting silver memberships. That's what we want to see out there. Give you guys some extra plays, some extra intel. Going to have some members-only streams coming up down the pike here for some off-kilter events, but still going to be a lot of fun. Still going to be time for us to cash. Speaking of cashing, grab the pen and paper. You know the deal. The best of the business. Assemble right here. It's true. I don't think anybody wins more than what Sports Money's been putting out there. Not just darts at the board, where we're putting our cash, and it's coming to fruition. Can't be tip of the spear if that blade's not going to cut, and we have been cutting these bookies up through this month of May. Get that pen and paper. Get ready to go. We're going to talk through the chat. Make sure you put your best bets in the chat. We want to see what you guys are on. You know, it's my favorite part of the show. I prefer to talk about your guys' plays than mine. I'm going to share my card with you. Might even add one. Might even add an RBI. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Let me take a peek here. In fact, let me just take a quick peek here because it is one that I added to my personal card. Let me just see. Let me see. I want to make sure. What I want to make sure is we're not in one of those 0.125 situations that we were in the other day. That was a real blow. I don't want to give that out if that is the case. Yeah, it looks like all signs point to a go. So we'll see if we can't squeeze that in there as well. First baseball action will pop off at 6:40. So it's time. Get ready. Get your questions ready. You guys have questions, comments for the chat. Let's get them out there as well. Love it when we're all working together, trying to beat these books. And we're going to pop her off with our numero uno commenter. 99.2% first comment ratio. He's got some work to do. He had a couple days off. It happens. We get it. But it's 99.2. It's the law of averages. However, he's giving you guys the Mariners and the Athletics. Sacktown Ace. Hitter-friendly ballpark. Jover's going to the over 8.5. And I mentioned at the onset of the show, red hot batters. Them righties. Righties are in trouble. Mariners. Great look here from Jover giving us the 8.5. The question is, can Sacktown, after traveling from the probably furthest point on the East Coast, scoring 6 runs, taking down that Marlins team there on Friday, going through their thing here after a long series down south, can they come out there and put runs on the board themselves at what is their home stadium? Jover's giving us the over. Here's our guy, Gerald Jones. He's coming in. He's cashed. He cashed yesterday with the Winnipeg St. Louis over 5. Such a great look. You know, I was on the under 8.5, or I'm sorry, under 8.5, under 5.5. It got so juiced and it wouldn't move. And I was like, this is trouble. 4-2s seem to be the popular score in closeouts. Speaking of closeout, he closed out 4 parlays. And he's giving you guys the OKC Thunder from down under. First half, minus 5.5. He's got the Brewers and Astros over 8 as well from our guy, Gerald Jones. That's what we do here. We love to see what you guys are on. I love the fact he's got his record out there for us as well. He's rolling. Looks like he's going to make some cash back here. And he got a big win there for the Jets in St. Louis yesterday. Joe Dubs in the house. Ignatius Penny Feather the 7th is here. He's got some HR RBI looks. He says Conforto, Alonso, and Murphy. I have a love-hate relationship with Conforto. I didn't know it. Ignatius Penny Feather. Bet the guy 3 times. He didn't do squat for me any one of those 3 times. But Pete Alonso, why not? The Mets should be a healthy overlook tonight. Someone's going to do it. It might as well be Pete Alonso. He's been carrying the drum and beating the charge. Robert McCormick's here. Cameron Sinette's going to go after this puck line. Florida Panthers going north. That's going to be a fun game. I tell you this, my boy is heavily invested. He's a big-time Florida Panthers fan. I know he's fired up and ready to go. Stop Geo Engineering. Nicholas Handy's here. Spoon Bets. Daddy Beats is in the house. Sancho, what's up? Let's go. Sports Money Network, my friend. I appreciate you. Oldie says, what up, you dog? Smash that like and post those pics. Absolutely. That's the most important part. Especially after the show. See what you guys were on there. It's always fun to have a little documented record out there. Documented plays that you guys are involved with there. Jay Main, Justin McCalvy's here. Sports Money is money. Stacks. What's up, Justin? We're going to talk about this Pirates team tonight. Gerald Jones' prop of the night. Miller over 2.5 walks, plus 156. Miller this season, 30 innings, 19 walks. Love the trends. Love the stats. J-Man likes Tatum points and first quarter points. Take it up to 10. Get you some plus money. He's going to ride a Jason Tatum ladder. Ooh, make sure that ladder is on solid footing. I don't mind Jason Tatum tonight, though. I was looking at some Tatum props. I'll tell you about a couple that I had on the radar when we get to that game. Let's go. Stop Geo. Just locked in Florida, Toronto under 5.5. Got it at even money. Peter Grassi says, amazing Winnipeg win last night. It was a hell of a comeback. No doubt about it. Now, President's Cup teams, now they're out of the first round. Do they shed that weight on their shoulders by moving to the second, or does it continue to magnify? President's Cup, those are the teams that have won the regular season in the NHL. The overall top points producer in the NHL regular season. And historically, they are on an epic decline when it comes to playoff time. We'll see if the Winnipeg Jets can muster it up. I'll tell you what, it ain't Hellebuck if that's what they're counting on. He's got to figure it out there. Played okay at home, but man, just looked like dog shit on the road. Peter Gracia says Celtics must win. But tonight, I think they win. Is that the rest of it? You gave us clip that? Oh, he likes the Braves. Daddy Beats got a nice little parlay here. KC, Cleveland, Mets, Cubs. I'm assuming that's Cubs run line. And it looks like it's 25 to 1-ish. 25 to 1 from Daddy Beats. Thank you for sharing. David Wallace. Tarek B. Celtics team total over. OKC team total for tonight. Okay. Ron Young says happy Cinco de Mula. Nice. I like it, dude. I don't know why I didn't think of that. That's a great one. I like it. Thank you, Ron Young, for being here. Dale Fick. Fowler plus 2,500 for overtime goal, and he didn't even shoot the puck. What kind of goal? Hey, that's all that matters. Find a way to get there. Sancho likes that OKC first half. A couple of you guys now. Pritchard, 9 points. Peter says Celtics should smash you. Okay, I got you. Shout out to AOD in the house. What up? Markel says happy early birthday to me tomorrow. Hey, we got a bunch of May birthdays, man. Shout out to you, Markel. Happy early birthday. Shout out to Andrew G. What up? What up, Andrew G? What's going on? Nasty Nate, Celtics trifecta. They're going to smash, and he's going to add the Celtics second quarter. Sancho likes the Leafs money line tonight. Oh, I can't wait to talk about all these guys. It's going to be so much fun. Nasty Nate says White, Tatum, Brunson, KP over threes parlay. Our resident Celtics, well, our resident Boston enthusiast in general, giving you guys some player props. Kapansky, 73 watching, 32 likes. Get a chance out there. Do help us. Smack that thumbs up button. We love coming in here doing this stuff. We love to see the new eyeballs. You guys have been making some noise. And that's a good thing here. Look, we're trying to grow. We want to continue to bring more folks in here. More eyeballs looking at all these games helps us all come up with new angles, trends, strategies, and everything else. Not strands, trends. Let's go. 9 Legacy. What do you think about that Marlins today? Sancho. I like to see that. Sports Money is the #1 gambling show on YouTube. We just try to win. We just want to win. I'll tell you, nobody wins more than us on fucking Saturdays. Live streams and Saturdays. Not to brag, not to boast, but if you guys are not catching out these Saturday shows, don't miss out this Saturday. Just don't do it. Just pencil it in. Permanent ink that son of a bitch in there. Reoccurring schedule, typically 6 p.m. every Saturday. They're popping UFC cards off. And if you plan on 6 and it starts at 7 because it's an hour later, then all you do is get a little bit more time to study the card and the playbook that we put out there. And speaking of the playbook, our guy Subhuman Gaucho's in here. He'll be updating the playbook here today. 9 Legacy, Guardian, Braves, Brewers, Mets, Mariners. I like that. Sancho likes the Cubs -1.5. David Dub, give him the Nerfy in that hitter-friendly ballpark. Nice, man. I love seeing all you guys laying this action out there. Let's go. 9 Legacy, Dogs parlay. Pirates, Mets, Marlins, White Sox. Going with the White Sox. I don't know what's happening. Women finish the UFC fights in 2025, and the White Sox are finding W's. It is a crazy year to start 2025 off. Damon Waring. Good evening, Cappers. Subhuman says, played some young Lee at +115 this morning. Line's starting to come in, but he thinks there's some plus money still available. There you go. Early action for all of it. Shout out. Let's go. Let's get after it. J-Man's trying to get the Pirates. So something keeps holding them back. There's Kenny Wood in the house. Yeah, that had to be 10-1 when they were down 2-0. Depends, I guess, on when you got it. Gerald Jones says, shout out to my Aunt B, 77 today. Nice. Shout out to Aunt B. Gave him his first name. Nasty Nate says, I can't bet Tatum props. I got one Tatum prop bet I made today. Joseph Alvarado's here. Flea Mathis. Velo Goots likes the Padres. Team total over 3.5. Jerry Davis took the under last night. The wind's blowing in 10 to 12 miles an hour. Nasty Nate turns 25 again this Shut the bomb.com. Friend bomb.com's in the house. I think we're ready to roll here, right? Bomb.com's all over OKC, Cubs, A's, Diamondbacks, Braves, and some more. J-Main's got the over 8.5. Boy, you guys are loaded up on the card tonight. Somebody's bank accounts are swelling, willing to take some chances. Royals -2 for J-Main. I really like that Royals first 5 under today. Just the first 5, though. I couldn't get there in the full game. For what it's worth, it's not a play that's on the card, but there's another spot that I like. Timmy Tushu says things will be tight. I'm on Knicks first half and Denver first half. Torn on which engages that fourth quarter. All right. Well, let's go. Let's talk about this, you guys. Thank you guys all for popping in. If you're just popping in, smack that thumbs up button for us. That's the best way to help us here. We want to continue to give you guys all these goodies, talk to you guys about all these angles, all these trends, all these lines that we're trying to get involved with here to try to beat the books. All we ask you guys to do is come prepared and smash that thumbs up button. Another weather delay. Guardians and Nationals. That bothers me. You know, I said this before. I said it the other day. I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but with the baseball season underway, the two spots I try to avoid: doubleheaders and rain delays. Now, I said it before. Rain delays, pitchers start, they stretch themselves out, they have a routine. Now you might have some impact to the longevity of their start. Doubleheaders. Everybody loves the split theory. They're going to win one, they're going to lose the other. Not yesterday. Not the Cardinals and Mets. Cardinals got them both done. Now the Mets have what? A 16-year streak of losing game number 34 of the season. Write that one down. Next year, Mets game 34, lose, loss. Pencil it in. There's a future bet for you. So many variables. I don't even know if it matters. We also have a team coming in off of Sunday Night Baseball that'll be involved here too. But I popped off early. I wanted to get these two legs together. A couple thoughts that I had when I looked at this one here. It's a plus 140. I know it's a little square. I get it. Two things that I looked at for this one. First of all, the LA Dodgers played last night, game 7. I'm sorry, Sunday Night Baseball. Game with 7 runs is what I was seeing there in Atlanta. But it's not that far. It's like a 40-minute plane ride, right, to get down to Miami to go figure it out. And ultimately for me, this is pricey. I mean, the only way I can get down on this Dodger squad, they're minus 210s now. You got to lay 2.5s. But the fact of coming off the Sunday Night Baseball, one of the things I looked really long and hard at too was the over 5.5. The team total at 5.5 for the Dodgers. That says that they're not buying into what's happening here with this Marlins starting pitching staff. 95% of the bets, 96% of the cash got to the Dodgers. It's moved 50 cents, 50 full cents in their direction. And it's Alcantara. Dryer for the Dodgers, 3.57 ERA. It's Alcantara. That's struggling. So I wanted to get into this one. I'll tell you, there's like 4 different ways I wanted to play this. As you see here, the Dodgers and the Yankees. I thought about some props. I like Alcantara's over 2.5 earned runs. Just allowed 7 earned runs on 7 hits and 5 walks in 2.2 innings 6 days ago against this Dodgers team. We're expecting Alcantara to continue to struggle. That being said, sometimes we talked about this before. The pitcher gets that second look in a week. Maybe that's the advantage if they had a tough game to start things off here. But look, he's got a 4.64 ERA at home. He's allowing 3 or 4 earned runs in every game. It's good enough for me to fade this guy. One of the other thoughts I had, I wanted to take the Yankees team total over. I wanted to take and incorporate that with the Dodgers team total over. It's pricey though, 5.5. And then I took it down to 4.5 and 3.5 on the other, like a small teaser with the Yankees. And the reason I wanted to kind of get involved with that was, we see that, Pavetta's having a phenomenal season, but Pavetta ain't him against the New York Yankees. Now, Rodon is the guy that has been the milestone marker here. Rodon starts 8-0 to the under in non-divisional favorite spots. So I expect the Yankees to handle business as well. That was I got the second leg of this thing going on with the New York Yankees. Yeah, bats can be hot or cold. Looks like we're going to get another rain delay on this one too. The Northeast. I should have known. Fucking rained here all day. Should have known. And look, the Yankees got to bounce back. They lost 2 games in a row to the Tampa Bay Rays in the AL East. I said this before. I don't like betting on teams in the second divisional series in a row. So AL East battles, they fought the Baltimore Orioles in Baltimore. They went 1-2. Actually, it was their 3rd series in a row because they had the Blue Jays at home. They win that series 2-1. They flounder 1-2 in the 3-game series at Baltimore. They go back home. They win the first game, but there's the elusive shutout. They shut out Tampa Bay. What happens when a team gets to shutout? Well, they tend to drop those next couple of games, and that's exactly what they did against Tampa. I do think it's a bounce back opportunity. I do think it's a good look for these guys overall. And where was he? Let me see if I can find him. Shit. Let me see if I can find it. In any event, that is the parlay I'm going to pop this thing off with here. Play number one, a little two-legger. Yeah, it might be a little square. I don't care. I think these two guys can go figure it out based on their batting and pitching matchups out there. And yeah, again, don't let Pavetta's numbers fool you. He does struggle in Yankee Stadium. He is a guy that can struggle against this Yankees team. And he's got a ton of experience because he was with Nasty Nate's Boston Red Sox. He probably thought they were going to smash. And at one upon a time, maybe they did smash. But that's the way we're going to pop this card off for leg number one, play number one on the card. A little two-legger. See what you guys got to say. Team Steam, I see ya. Ramon Scott's coming for the consensus parlay. We got to get the consensus parlay going. We got to see that thing in living color, at least what the parlay is, right? Let's see what the parlay is. Shout out to Ramon Scott. Let's go. Cleveland Nationals game, full game number one for the card. Game number two. I hate that this is in a rain delay. I'm not going to undo my bet. If it delays all day and it doesn't go until tomorrow, yeah, it'll probably be a doubleheader, and then all bets will be off. But tonight, I don't even care who the starting pitching is, because I do believe that there's a couple of spots, and we have them lined up tonight. When it comes down to it, some teams are just no good in game one of series. As ridiculous as that is to say it out loud, the Nationals are one of those teams. So I'll just talk about this one quick because, yeah, it's starting in the rain delay, and that sucks, and we got plenty of other action to get to. So let me see if I can pull it up here. Then they jockey it down the card. Delayed, not postponed. Pretty consistent action coming in throughout the day on the Cleveland Guardians. It shows 61% of the bets and 63% of the cash. It's been a couple of cents of movement. It's come down. It's become more attractive for the home team as well. So bottom line is where we started on this thing is this road team opening up as the favorite. Now you got a ton of cash coming in, 95% of the bets and 99% of the cash on the over for this Guardians game. And that line is not moving. That line has stayed at a firm 9. And of course, now we'll see what's going to happen. It was supposed to be Jake Irving to get the bump, to get the nod for the Nationals. And it's supposed to be Ortiz for the Guardians. Like I said, for me, this one is just as simple as taking this Nationals team and trying to fade them, especially game one. You know, they're only 9-7 at home on the season. They did have a nice little series out there against the Reds. They had back-to-back road series as well. So this is a spot where they're traveling back home. They got down 2-1 against the Phillies. Then they played in Cincinnati. They won that last game 4-1. They beat up Cincinnati 11-6 in game 2 of that 3-game series. They did lose the first game 6-1. It was a travel spot. So how does it all fan together? How does it all figure out? I've teased you guys with the number. I'll tell you exactly how it looks here. Nationals in game 1 of a series are 20-57 over their last 77. And if it's an interleague series, the favorite off a win wins for a reason. They're 86-29. Not going to get too excited about it. I hate the rain delays. We'll start in a rain delay, and we're going to roll into a rain delay for this one as well. Kelly V likes that Cleveland-Washington over. Gerald Jones says the NFL schedule drops this week. Skunk Blaster's going to tail. Got the Skunk Blaster. Saw his action on X today. Kelly V says these pitchers still listed. Bad pitchers and over series. Over. Don't overthink it. Okay. Don't overthink it, says KV up in the house. He's our number one commenter post show in the graphics, in the comments there on YouTube. I'm going to go to the ribeye play of the day for you guys here. It is that Yankees and Padres game. It's a wild, windy game. There are 14 or so miles an hour of wind. It is leaking right to left. And we got that porch in play. But we got a rain delay. I don't like that by any stretch of the imagination here, but this is one of those opportunities where you're going to look for the player and you know, how are you going to generate offense? How are you going to generate runs? I think it's a good Yankee spot, obviously, or they wouldn't be in this parlay. But to me, I went back and I looked through the details. One, Rodon, as I kind of teased at the onset, is playing pretty solid. I mentioned that 8-0 under spot. They're averaging just 6.7 runs a game in that stretch. Lots of love for the under in this game. I kind of initially thought the over until I saw the rain delay. Then I started peeling it back a little bit. And I said, well, who do I want to get involved with in this game here? And it became kind of clear and obvious to me. I mean, Aaron Judge is having a phenomenal season, but you know the deal. Aaron Judge, our numbers with Aaron Judge, we're not going to catch any value. It's all been extracted. I mean, you got to play Aaron Judge 2 days from now if you're going to play an Aaron Judge spot. Play him on Wednesday to get a home run and just hope blindly that the matchup works out to that favor because they're going to lose all the value by the time you get to game start. But where I like to get involved with this guy here, first baseman galore, Paul Goldschmidt. He's hitting in the 4 position. He's been quite an accomplished feller. Now, there's a lot of zeros across the board for this New York Yankees team when it comes to the Pivetta pitching matchup. But not for Goldschmidt. Not only is Goldschmidt seeing him, he's generating contact and he's producing runs. 11 at-bats, 4 hits, a home run and an RBI for a 364. This line came down from the opener this morning. It's under plus 500 now on the home run side of things. Plus 190 was the early morning RBI action. It's all the way down to plus 185s and dropping. So they're showing a little concern out there. Now, is it Pivetta? We'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out when it's all said and done. But his hit streak has been pretty consistent here in his last couple of starts. And I expect that to be the way that things kind of roll for the majority of this year. Well, probably for all these. I mean, with the exception of Ben Rice, right? Ben Rice has just been crushing. But look at the, last 7 days. Let's just hone in on this one particularly. 25 at-bats. He generated 6 runs, 7 hits. He's hitting a 364 against Pivetta. And I do think that Pivetta, now in San Diego, I don't know is he on the juice? I didn't look that big to me, but he just looks like he's figured out life. On the flip side, I'll take a shot though with this guy. We'll take a plus 185. That's the official number that we're going to lock in right now. Keep her moving. Keep talking some games here. Ramon Scott. Oh, man, I know. I'm hoping, Ramon. We do. What's up, we do? You want some NBA? Let's throw a couple at you. I got a couple that I got involved with here. Ramon Scott says the NHL draft. Flyers get 2 first-round picks. Shout out to the Colorado Avalanche. That pick got a little bit better. The lottery will feature a televised live in-studio draw. Remember that a couple years ago? They leaked it. Dana Delps has taken a ribeye, PCA ribeye. Little Crow Armstrong ribeye act. That's not a bad look. That's not a bad look at all. Good luck to you, my friend. Pirates and Cardinals. I kind of teased this a little bit too, right? There's a couple of teams that just aren't good in the first game of a series. Welcome in victim number 2. That is this St. Louis Cardinals team. I don't know. We talked about it last year. I think they had like an 8 or 9 first game of the series losing streak going on. Here's the thing. You want to talk about a fishy line? This game starts at 7:45. It opened up at plus 138. Okay. It's moved down to plus 116 for the Pirates. So you lost 22 cents. Well, what are some of the factors? Sharps are banging on this thing. I can tell you that the Sharp Respected Betting Report came through for me this afternoon. It showed the Pittsburgh Pirates. Crazy to see the Pittsburgh Pirates on the card because when I looked at this Pittsburgh Pirates team, man, you want to talk about recent performance and policy. I mean, this team in itself, they're going to Mlodzinski, who's probably their worst pitcher in the stock. And this team's gone 1-7 in their last 8 games. The Dodgers broke them. They got swept by let's go back. Let's go back just a second. They got swept by the Guardians. They took down the shitty Angels, who were ice cold against right-handed batters or against right-handed pitchers. They took them down 2-1. They did sweep them 3-0, shut them out, and then they lost that following game. Then they went against the Dodgers 3-0, shut them out, and it's been all downhill from there. Now, the funny part, you think I'm full of shit with this shut them out theory. Dodgers broke them. They lost that series 2-1. They go into Chicago, or they come back and host Chicago, I should say. They lose 9-0. They got shut out. Guess what happens the next day? They won. They haven't won since then. They lost 4 in a row after that. They are coming off a 4-0 shutout. Ain't that something? And it lines up with the Sharps betting on this thing. Oh, and insult to injury, one of the worst teams. If you fade the Cardinals in a home series, game one's home series, Cardinals fade 27 of the last 35 times you cashed. Now, I mentioned St. Louis had that doubleheader, and it was a travel spot, right? Pirates come off of not just getting shut out, but getting swept. Something's going on because Mlodzinski, as I mentioned, is their worst pitcher in their rotation through 6 starts, just 26 innings. He's given up 19 runs, walked 10 batters with a 1.8 whip. Remember we talked last week about the whip. He's getting almost 2 dudes on base every single time he gets up there. But yet this action is coming in, and I'm going to follow it. I think this line is fishy for a reason. I think they're trying to trap you. You're not getting the Cardinals at a good price. I think this is where you get Pittsburgh. And Voodoo Ranger likes that. I think that's a good strategy too. Saints Blues bullpens gassed, and if Pittsburgh, I love that theory when it comes to the gas bullpens. When it comes to the series, watch those bullpens usage. The best thing you can see is they're getting busted up and they go to an outfielder, not 7-8 deep. Because if they go 7-8 deep, I don't even look at bullpen stats at that point. I just start looking to fade that team for the rest of that series and get my money. That's how I think we get paid. What do I got? I got one last for you. I got to move. We got this game popping up here, huh? I get excited. You guys had a ton of action to share today, which I love. And I see a ton of you guys viewing here tonight, which is fantastic. We love to see that. Shout out Sports Money. We're almost 100 strong via this YouTube side of things here. What a fantastic day. Make sure you guys smack that like button if you haven't come in here and done it already. Help us out. Seattle Mariners, Sacktown A's. It just doesn't feel right putting athletics in the it's A's. They're an A's team. That new ballpark looks fantastic. I'm going to see if I can't get Ramon Scott to take me out to a game when I get out there and they start popping off in Vegas. My old Tropicana days. But, look, Bryce Miller, Luis Severino. Bryce Miller can be inconsistent. I told the story about my 80-something-to-1 parlay that got crushed in the 9th inning because the Texas Rangers couldn't take down the Oakland Athletics. However, they're back home. The Oakland A's get back to their home, right? We'll use the air quotes for their home because of the situation of their moving and so on. I told you guys, I also, by the way, one of the spots, that first 5 under for the KC, you can get that at 4. That's a really nice spot. Some books only offer 3.5 now, I'm seeing. Seattle Mariners open up as slight dogs, minus 106. Not a true dog, but a slight dog. 68% of the bets and 75% of the cash have come in on the Mariners. And how about this total? Jover gave us the over 8.5. 94% of the bets, 93% of the cash is over. Guess what? It opened at 9. It's come down to 8.5. Oh my God. I wish I could have, if it wasn't for another chance, I would have recorded this and just put these people on blast. I was embarrassed. For a really pretty good size outfit. Dodgers already on the board. When they talked about the cash flow splits, you want to talk about some dinosaurs that don't know how to use the card? Oh my God. That's why we look at it. That's why we're here. And that's why nobody does it better than we do. Doesn't mean it's always right, but to say that you don't care about the opening line is embarrassing. Now, here's the problem. A lot of people get that opening line wrong. I just switched my L and my W. Severino starts at 3.3 ERA. Bryce Miller comes in with a 3.52 ERA. Bryce Miller, he can be inconsistent. It's probably fair to say. When I looked at this game, I thought a couple things. First, yeah, Miller with that 3.52 ERA. I kind of peeled it back and I saw, well, he had a bad start. He's been trying to figure it out. He went 5 deep his last game, and he only had 2 hits. No earned runs. 6 Ks. Now, this reverse line movement on the total. We got to talk about that. This Sacktown A's, it starts at 9. It's a hitter-friendly ballpark, and they're dropping it to 8 with all that money coming in. Maybe the books don't think maybe they're thinking this is going to be a lower scoring game. And to me, if it's going to be a lower scoring game, well, then who's going to make it the lower scoring game? Is it going to be the red hot right batters or the red hot against righty batters in our road squad in Seattle? Or is it more likely to be our Oakland Athletics, who just had a lengthy road trip back, by the way, in Texas for 4 straight games, 3 games out there, a late travel spot yesterday. They did come off a win. They won that Miami series 2-1, but there was definitely some cooling off on them bats in that last game against Miami. 3-2, they won the game. They lost 9-6, and then they win 3-2 to batter up and bring her back home. And my thought on that simply was, well, the books are telling you Seattle's going to win this game. They got the better hitters. They're in a hit-friendly ballpark. If one team's going to shut them down, I told you this game kind of had a little feel to me similar to that Oakland-Miami series as well. One team's traveling, long travel spot. The other team, not so much, and they're firing off and smacking. I like the team total over for Seattle. I did jump in on Seattle. That was the Moneyline play that I laid out there for the evening. Little Seattle Mariners spot. And low juice. I think I got it at minus 110 or so. You can follow my action over at BetStamp. We had a tremendous April. We had a shit March. Got to be transparent. You can go back and look. It was awful. It was embarrassing. We crushed April. We're at a high watermark for the show here. Pre-gaming and the premium picks that I put out there were over 70 units in the green. And it feels pretty damn good. We've had, I think, like a 12 or 13 unit start to the month of May on top of that. So follow it at Mikey Money at BetStamp to see what's going on over there. But the reason I brought that up is I got minus 109 at BetStamp for the Seattle Mariners. Still widely available. Minus 109s, minus 110s, minus 112s, all in the same ballpark. And that ballpark is in Sacramento tonight, where we're going to take the Seattle Mariners to go out there, get the job done. The Knicks and the Celtics. Game 1 of series are always tricky. This line opened at 8.5. It did move up to 9. It has come back to 8.5. So there has been some late buying coming in on the New York Knicks. You have 56% of the bets on the Knicks. You have 51% of the cash on the Celtics. So there's a little bit of a differential. Not much, but there is some differential coming in with the Sharps, and it just moved back to 9. So they're hovering. They're getting in. +9 on Knicks, minus 8.5 on the Celtics is where the sharp action seems to want to put its money on the line. This total's got 95% of the bets and 95% of the cash. 214.5 moved to 212.5. I'll just tell you this right now. For me, short and sweet. Again, game 1 of a series. We'll see how these teams match up. The big thing, I think, that there's a couple spots I thought from a matchup perspective that would have to be talked about. This one, you look at the last series, yeah, we saw what the Celtics did out there. And we saw what they didn't do. And for a team that likes to shoot a lot of threes, they certainly weren't very three-point active. Why? Because one of the best three-point defenses out there are the Orlando Magic. So they didn't waste their time and shoot their shot on, literally shoot their shot on spots that don't cash or make it. They found the weakness in that Orlando Magic squad, and they went out there and handled business, including a 120-89 thumping that last game of the series. The Knicks beat the Pistons. That was a back and forther out there. We were fortunate to get some cash on that team here, but I think the game plan changes, and I think they've got the coach to do it with the experience and the players to do just that and show a completely different game 1 this series than if they were checking tape what the Knicks were looking at from the Orlando Magic Boston Celtics series the last time around. The Knicks, 4 more point dog, and opponents not on a 6 or more game winning streak. They're 0-8 against the spread. That means when the books are benchmarking the Knicks, there's a little New York tax, I think, that goes into that thing. And they're certainly not good in the heavy dog spot. They've lost those games by 20 points. They're not covering by almost 14 a clip out there. And the Celtics, to me, I think they're just a team that's going to throw a different game plan. They're not going to go, the Knicks can be outscored. The Knicks have been outscored when they're in those dog rolls, 118-105. That's enough for these guys to cover the spread. It's floating back and forth. And then if you want to talk about the ability to reinvent themselves, the Celtics against the Eastern Conference. I love them conference numbers, especially in season when we can find some of those spots. They're 81-33 against the East in over 100-game sample. I mean, they're winning at almost 80%. Now, why? Because the number's big? It's going to scare you? I wouldn't let that scare me. I think they're going to come out there and they're going to just fucking put the belt to the ass. It's going to get ugly. It's going to get physical. And it's going to get to be a blowout. I thought about the first half. Brunson, there's a guy you should probably look at too. I mean, obviously someone's going to have to do some scoring. It might as well be Brunson. I liked his threes, over 2.5 threes. If you're going to start shooting, you can start shooting 3-pointers. Then the other side of this equation is, well, then the Knicks have to start shooting 3-pointers. And if it's going to be anybody, it might as well be Brunson. So I would give Brunson's 3-pointers a look. Nate told me I'm not allowed to bet Tatum, but I did take his over 9.5 rebounds. You know, missed some time in game one because that's what Tatum does. He's soft. But he did average 8.7 rebounds a game in the regular season, 11.25. He has stepped up in these playoff games when he comes back from the rest. And 9.5 was plus 110. So there's a couple of player props that I jumped in on for you guys to consider and pontificate. Tatum and his rebounds. And I don't believe in Tatum's points, but I'll take his rebounds. There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of guys that work the ball around there on the same side. And then Brunson's threes. Probably could look at Brunson's points, but is he going to get 30? I don't know. I don't know. To me, I don't know. I guess it's kind of standard. He does do that. He's gone 5 of his last 6 games in the first round, went over 30 points. If you're thinking he's going to ladder, he's going to go up the line, 7 career 40-plus point playoff games. 27.5 doesn't seem that far-fetched here. I just think that the better play is take that big play. We get plus 140s now for the over 2.5 threes and watch them try to go out there and splash and match the 3-point competition that I do believe the Boston Celtics bring to this game for this series. Maybe that's a little bit different than some of you guys were expecting to hear there, but I'm going to lay the points. I'm not scared of them points. There you go. Voodoo Ranger found a way to play this thing creatively. Brunson, 25 points, and Boston's money line. That's because you're kind of playing both sides, right? You're playing the other team to get a shitload of points from their key guy, and then the team to win on the money line, and you catch it at even money. That's not a bad spot. Hell, especially after I layered in there telling you about the numbers that he's gone in these playoffs and in his career. Why not? Nasty Nate likes Pritchard. Markel's going to go with Brunson under 26.5 points, though. Okay. Hey, I just want his threes. I don't give a fuck how he does. Just get 3 threes. Put them on the board for me. Game number 2 I've got for the NBA. We're going to take some action. Some guys are laying off game ones to see how they play out there stylistically. I think if you do that, your hesitation leads to missing out on good numbers because the books will make their adjustments as well. Just like you're thinking maybe you're going to sit back and play it cool and see how this series goes. You don't think the books are going to figure it out as well when it comes to making those moves in the second games and third games of series out there. Nuggets and Thunder. And the line is swelling. 8.5, 9.5 went to 10. Pretty much 10.5. So even a couple of 11s peeked their heads across the board. So 64% of the bets are on the Nuggets. Just 56% of the cash. And it was good enough to move this line 1 to 1.5 points. Totals moved like a bandit. 223.5 moved up to 228. 94% of the bets, 93% of the cash are on the over. I think that's to move too much. I might only start playing unders going forward too, because I've played a bunch of overs, and that Golden State one yesterday, it was like 2 minutes in the game, and it went from 205 down to 188. I'm like, shit. Doesn't matter if they even do go on a run, that's not going to happen. But we know the deal. We know the players. We know who they are. I'll tell you, there's some guys that I like in this one. Christian Braun over 12.5 points. That's been our guy. He's an even money play. You can even catch him at plus 105s. He was one of the 3 guys in the sports money stable. Like some Christian Braun. He had a kind of an off game, but previous to that, he's had some phenomenal bangers here, and his number's not that outrageous. You know, the thing I'm looking at with this series, obviously Williams, Gordon, all the players. The Nuggets are deep. And they busted that team up, so that's why they had all their guys. Would they have How many double-digit scorers last game? Wasn't it like 5 or 6 guys got into double-digit scoring? It's crazy. Obviously, Jokic's the triple-double machine. You could certainly not go wrong trying to get involved. His triple-double, plus 115. He averages a triple-double. How bad is that? Gordon, the 3-point machine. I'm just throwing a couple prop bets out there that I might consider if I was looking to get wide on this one. Here's the deal. I mentioned joking. I mentioned being the triple-double. How about Russ Westbrook? Russ Westbrook, first of all, is aging, as we all are. Has not had a deep playoff run in a minute. 2019, I believe it was. So he's got 6 years of just sitting around, chilling, watching everybody else get to the playoffs without him. Denver and OKC have met to 2-2 split this series. You look at that and go, okay, they're pretty competitively balanced. Look, game one of the season was OKC beating Denver. Game one. It's almost 12 months ago. Let's take that one off the table. So we got ourselves a little Denver actually leads that series 2-1 with Russell Westbrook scoring like a machine against these boys. When it's the big games, he steps up. He was the leading scorer in the first win that they played head-to-head. He had 29 points. There's a little Russell Westbrook factor. Jokic on that match, by the way, 20 rebounds, 16 assists. And you're going to give these boys 10.5 points? When the Thunder have rest advantage, they do cover. Historically in the NBA, rest is rust. Playoff teams, a 4-game sweep against a team in a long 7-game series. Those teams are just 3-12. It's a 10-year stretch over the NBA sample. The rest turns to rust. And it takes a little bit of time to knock that rust off the brakes to get things rolling out there. I think it's too many points. I get it, and it's scary. But look what we just saw with the Cleveland Cavaliers against the Pacers. Almost a similar line index. And they lost by 9 points outright. These are divisional teams in a series split on the regular season, and the star players stepped up and showed out. I think we talked about the way to shut down. Now, you have to do it, but taking SGA out of his comfort zone and getting some hands in his face are certainly enough way to get that team off kilter because he tends to be that one-man band. So I'm going to take the 10.5 points. I can't believe it's 10.5. And if they go out there and get thumped by 20, I'm going to own it, and I'll still be back here tomorrow for you guys to be like, I can't believe you took 10.5 points. That's how I believe about it. Trevor BS. He's looking for a future bet. Weedy says, who plays now in 2.5 hours? 2.5 hours is now going to be the Denver Nuggets. So I gave you guys some plays out there. Kelly V thinks they'll run out of gas, though. Maybe. I think they get them in the first game. I think they might win outright. I mean, it's 10.5 points, so it's not like I'm going to go out there and put any reasonably hard-earned cash on it, but I do think there's an opportunity for them to surprise these boys. Game number 1, they've already shown they can step up when it comes time to the challenge. Last game on the card for us tonight is this Florida Panthers Toronto Maple Leafs spot. Game number 1. I talked about the narratives, right? We talked a little bit about Russ. He's already seen OKC. We already talked about the series being split there. We talked about Boston being able to change the game plan with the threes and why we want to look for some of these three-point shooting guys. Baseball with some of the travel spots and how these batters do against these pitchers. This series gives us a little bit of a different opportunity to flex. Stolars and Bobrovsky. Now, Stolars is a starting goaltender because he backed up Bobrovsky when he was with the Florida Panthers. So before you go anywhere else, you got a goalie versus goalie competitive matchup here with two guys that have their pride on the line. Stolars look pretty damn good. Now, with all due respect, Stolars made me a lot of money because we were just auto betting that Ottawa Senators team total under 3.5. Every single game, just banging it again, banging it again, banging it again, banging it again. Now, I think they went over, I think they actually went over twice, but it was them in Montreal, and it was the two teams that were just like, these guys just don't have the experience and the depth to be able to go out there and be effective. Now we have the Toronto Maple Leafs open up as a home dog in game one of the playoffs, home dog. And if you haven't seen some of the situation, maybe some of our Canadian brethren can share with us. Toronto Maple Leafs weekday games versus weekend games are an entirely different animal. The tickets are an arm and a leg, and they become very corporate heavy. Lots of suits, not lots of young dudes running around slamming 12 packs and then coming in to watch the game. So I could see why you have this Florida Panthers team opening up as in this situation. That being said, Ekblad is still out for the Florida Panthers. Now, he was out the last game, and it didn't matter. I would argue, counterpoint, star players out the first game, you play him, and then you fade him the next game. That's this game. I also think that Florida Panthers, both sides, but their goaltending particularly, an incredibly low amount of shots on goal last game. And I think in the goalie matchup, that's where you're going to see this kind of pop, kind of come to fruition. Lower scoring, shots not quite getting to the net. Down a big man in Ekblad. And if you look at this Toronto Maple Leaf squad, these boys have been there. This wanting to fade them because it's Toronto and they can't advance past series, it's not the same. And there's guys like Tavares. This is their last shot to go out there and do something big because they're going to be gone next year. Hopefully he goes to Philadelphia. They don't have the money to stretch it around. So these guys have to improve their worth now. And you got a squad in Matthews, Nylander, Tavares, Marner. It's his birthday, if you believe in that stuff. Nice. Lots of things happening for this. Max Domi. I mean, shit. That's a fun kid to watch out there. Ty Domi's kid. Diabetes be damned. He'll still go out there and smack guys around. And that's the way they roll in Toronto. So I do like Toronto in this game. But I went to the under. Given that goalie narrative, given it's game one of the series, these guys are going to want to try to figure each other out a little bit more. And, I'll finish her off with the trend for the show. Eastern Conference road favorites. Opponents got more than a day's rest. Are 7-27 to the under. Small margin for the road favorite. Not the biggest win margin, but a small margin. I think it was 1 or 2 games. But the under clearly jumped off the skid. 5.5's the number. It's an even money under. That's the way I'm trying to get paid in this NHL game to pop things off here. Yeah, we'll look at more of these player props and things as the series advances, but guy that kind of dogged. I mean, look, Riley, this is going to be a lot of fun. This series should be a ton of fun to watch. Toronto in the rematch against that Florida Panthers team that knocked them out previously. Then Florida goes on to win the Stanley Cup. So it is what it is from the rematch perspective. It just seems disrespectful to take this home team, other than the fact that a bunch of suits in the stands, a bunch of guys in shirts and ties drinking fucking, what are they drinking? I don't drink them, so I can't even tell you. Seltzer waters. Seltzer waters and doing their thing. So anyways, that's it for you guys. That's all I got for the evening. I hope you guys make some cash with me. I hope you smash that thumbs up button on the way out the door if you haven't done so already. And we'll be back for some more ginger ales. White Claws. That's what I was thinking. Robert McCormick. I couldn't think of it. White Claws. Fucking White Claws. Not for me tonight, but we'll see what happens here. Good luck to everybody in their bets. Check out my man, Ramon Scott, tomorrow. You know the way that we work here at Sports Money. Things pick up and get popping. Tuesday, we unload. We get golf content out there. VB and Ramon Scott pull off the first wave of our UFC coverage. You'll get the morning steam at 9 a.m. You'll get me rocking pregaming at 6 p.m. Then Wednesday, we build up. We get first strike out there. Thursday, we go live. We get more plays, more action. Friday, off, and then we get ready for the pay-per-view 315 card this weekend. It's going to be a ton of fun, you guys. Thank you guys all for watching. Make sure to leave comments post-show. We need those the most. And we'll see you guys again real soon.